What's good, D. Great Dorian Gray. Great night of boxing, man. Just wanted to give you a breakdown and just play the 12th round for you. Kick back, enjoy. See this fight, watch this fight. Earl Spence Jr. makes his return, and it was a great return. And Danny showed up. I thought Danny would begin to retreat around the 6th or 7th round, but Danny stood in the pocket and he fought with Spence. You know what I mean? And he tried to do what he can do. It's just that I think that Earl Spence possesses some natural physical gifts, having a 72-inch reach and using it. Being a guy who utilizes the jab, has a heavy jab. You see the damage that his jab does. He's very, very proficient with the jab. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say he has an Oscar De La Hoya jab, and some guys I don't know how old you guys are, but some people be like Oscar De La Hoya had a great fucking jab, and Earl Spence has that Oscar De La Hoya Ike Corte level jab. That the jab is the key to success. I always was a critic of Spence. I have no shame in that. I tell you, what's up with the man down? Why he ain't knocking motherfuckers out? What's up with the man down? Man down mean bring him to me and I'm gonna beat him. That's a man down. You know what I mean? And I'm understanding that, hey, when you raise your level, man, you know what I mean? And then styles make fights. But when you raise your level, knockouts ain't gonna come as easy. You know what I mean? And when you in there with guys like Danny Garcia, if you watch this fight, you'll see that Danny Garcia could fucking fight. And I'm just one of them guys where, hey, when I see it, I see it. And I saw Danny Garcia doing some slick shit and landing some cool shit. It's just not, going to translate, I think, for a natural lightweight guy, against a guy like Spence. I think to beat Spence, if you look at a guy like Bud Crawford, who I think is a game dog in a fight with Earl Spence, Bud Crawford is one of the only people who has a longer reach. He's the only guy, I think, who has a longer reach than Earl Spence that's in the top 5 welterweights. He has a 74-inch reach. You look at Garcia, he's got a 68.5-inch reach. So I think that can negate some issues when you look at a fight between Bud and Spence, that changes a little bit because Bud can crack and he also got long arms. Danny landed nice, but he couldn't reach him consistently, and what he had to take to get in, because they both landed 103 power shots. This was a good competitive fight. I had Danny going on the retreat around the 6th. I thought he would stop fighting and go into survival mode, but he kept fighting, and he kept doing what he could do. Spence just showed that he's completely unaffected by the accident. He's ready to roll. I'd love to see Spence in there with Crawford, but I know it's more realistic to expect to see him in there with Thurman or with Pacquiao, and I think all those are competitive fights. I don't think anybody washes anybody. I think they all live dogs when you put these guys against one another, and I think that 147 is looking good, and I just hope that I'm predicting that I think some conversations may have already been had. I don't even know if that's legal, but between Bud and PBC, I think the conversations have already been had because, look, they don't even have to put Bud on camera. They're not obligated to show him in the audience. So for them to show Bud, I think that initiates some sort of relationship. I don't think that Spence not calling him out has any significance whatsoever. I think they're just going about it a certain way, and we as fans have to be patient and let it develop. I think it'll happen regardless if one of these guys gets a loss or not, just because they two of the top guys who are undefeated, so it will make sense for their paths to cross. And I'm actually more interested in seeing Porter. Porter is my man, and I think very highly of Bud, and I think that those two could put on a show that could give Bud that pay-per-view notoriety that he needs. I'm a big Bud fan, but I respect the numbers, and he needs that performance against that guy, and by, just being patient is what we're going to have to do, because it can all come to pass. We got mandatories coming up. We just got to be patient as fans, and I believe we're going to see everybody fight everybody. So hopefully that's what happened. I hope you enjoyed the 12th round, man. Like, subscribe, share. Let's talk about it, TV, man. We talk about everything. Boxing, politics, you know what I'm saying? So feel free to leave your comments, man. Like and subscribe, man. Peace and blessings. Y'all take care of yourself. One.